We're talking to programmer Steve McGreal about his best and worst experience in the games industry. Can't wait to hear about this. Steve, what's been your best experience in the games industry?
When I left Rockstar, I wanted to go for a very small company, and I found this tiny little studio, like a little startup indie studio, where I was like employee number 5. We learned all about making mobile games and social games. And then we got bought about 6 months later by Zynga, who are this huge mobile social games company. And so after our company got acquired, they flew us all out to their head offices in San Francisco to meet them all. And so we got to San Francisco and we were jet lagged and all the kind of time zones were strange. We realized that to adjust, the best thing to do was to make ourselves stay up until bedtime and not just go to sleep at lunchtime, which is what we all wanted to do. And so our boss, to keep us awake, had booked a catamaran tour of the San Francisco Bay area. And so we were on this catamaran, drinking champagne, going under the Golden Gate Bridge, the breeze in our hair. Well, not my hair. It was like a moment out of Vice City game or something. The boat kind of skimming through the water and the city skyline in the background. It was a very special moment. I knew that we were involved in something big and exciting. I had some games that I've worked on that I really enjoyed. This game, Beta-Rated, that nobody bought, was a lot of fun to work on from a technical level. We were a very small team. We were 3 programmers, 1 artist, and 1 guy that was in charge of the actual music clips. And no designers or producers or bosses, really. We were left to it. So we got to decide a lot what went into that. So I built all these software synthesizers and all these cool audio effects. So that was fun.
Wow! A lot of freedom.
Yeah, a lot of freedom. A bit later I worked for a company called Hutch, who do a lot of racing games on mobile. And they had this game called Top Drives, which is like a collectible card game. But the cards are all cars, and you choose the best car to race against some other car in some crazy track with different kind of conditions. So I had to work out how to make a physics engine that could simulate any one of 2,000 cars doing stuff that those cars have never done in real life. Like sometimes it's going around the Nürburgring, but sometimes it's how fast could a Porsche 911 go up a sand dune? What about around a go-kart track in the rain? I spent a lot of time drawing together all of the things that I'd learned up to that point and researching a lot of new things and mixing actual in-depth car physics simulation with kind of fudging it and smoke and mirrors and blending this stuff together into something that would give a pretty good result for any car and any track that you throw at it. And I was very proud of that work. It did a really good job predicting how these races would turn out. And the game's gone on to do really well. The last I heard, the players of the game had run something like 2 billion races over the years that it's been out. So that's my bit of code, that.
Wow! You must be so proud when you look back.
Yeah, I was very happy with that one.
What's been your worst experience?
I had a colleague that I worked with at one company, and I'd moved on to a different company by this point. But they'd been working very hard for a very long time. They'd been basically crunching to get some game finished for months and months. Crunch is like unpaid overtime, right? So they might get you working 60, 80, 100 hours a week, barely doing anything outside of work except sleeping, like not really seeing your family, to try to get these games done. And it's not good for your health. And my friend, who'd been doing this for months, one morning when he was 45, just didn't wake up, just died.
Oh no! What happened? He had a heart attack?
Yeah, something like that. He just sort of died in his sleep and just didn't get into work one Monday morning. So I heard about this and there were plans for his funeral and people to get together. And I went to my manager at the time at this other company and said, this has happened, my friend's died. I'd like to go to the funeral and can I take some time off to do that? And his first reaction was like, well, we've got this deadline on the game that we're making. Like, I don't know if I can give you time off because, we're really busy with this game. He told me that on a Friday and I spent the whole weekend just furious with him. The working conditions had killed a man, a friend of mine. And now at this other place, you're saying that the working conditions mean that I can't even go and pay my respect. I spoke to him on the Monday and he'd thought about it over the weekend and he changed his tune and I was able to go.
This really makes me angry. It's just a f***ing game.
It's not worth jeopardizing your health or your friendships or your relationships for. We are just making entertainment products. I do not have a sense of humor about crunch. I have not done crunch in any of my workplaces since then, and I would strongly encourage anybody, even like new people in the industry, I think when they're young and they're keen and they've got a lot of energy and they really want to be involved and show willing, maybe more susceptible to the kind of persuasion, right? That, but we need to do this to get it done, and like you want to be seen to turn up because that's how you make progress in your career or whatever. The people that tell you that crunch is the only way to get games done are terrible managers and awful people, and you should not listen to them. And you should not play along with them, because if you're the person that sat at your desk at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, you're normalizing that behavior. And that behavior is essentially abuse. Don't do it.
You hear, everybody? Don't do it. Say no.
Don't do it. There are plenty of studios out there that have really sensible producers and really good ways of managing projects. This is a thing, should be a thing of the past. You don't have to put up with this. You can go to places where you don't have to put up with this, and you should do that. We should let this thing die.
I'm with you on this. The video games industry is a great place to work in, providing we make sure not to put up with abuse. Just say no to crunch. Click here if you want to find out how the games industry is evolving according to Steve.